I thought it was going to roll into the commercial. I wasn't even prepared now, Ryan. I'm all a fluster.
At least you talked right away.
I know.
I was still stuck on my Instagram screen because I was sharing everything out, and I was sitting there thinking, I was like, oh, I don't have to share to 5 other pages right now. It's kind of nice. We're back in full effect with
thanks to our wonderful sponsors. We are now back on Instagram. We're back on YouTube. We're back on Facebook. Everywhere where nobody watched us, we are back on.
Yes.
All right, everybody. It's another Thursday night. It is Thursday Night Barbecue Chat. I am Steve Crass. I am with It's All About the Barbecue. And during the week, you can find me over at Wanamaker's in lovely, beautiful downtown Downers Grove. And the man sitting next to me, as always, the technological whiz that he is. Hey, that kind of rhymed a little bit. The whiz that he is. I'm getting better at this intro stuff.
You are getting better at the intros.
Is the chairman
of get him on point and start when the whole thing goes.
Barbecue, Blackstone, and beer, Mr. Ryan Hoagland. So, now that we're back on everything, just a couple of rules so everybody knows. I'm going right into the rules because then we're going to have to pay the bills. So if anybody knows, we're back on Instagram. As I said in the beginning of the show, Instagram comments do not show up on our screen. So we're going to be monitoring our Instagram comments. So if we don't answer your Instagram comment right away, don't be sad and upset and don't cry and don't say you'll never watch again because
Andy Wilson's over there right now. Billy Chapman's over there saying what's up. But we can't see your comments. So I just have to flip back and forth, and hopefully I see them and catch you before you leave.
Yeah.
But comment there. Give us a follow. If you do want your comments to be able to show up on the screen here, come over to YouTube for It's All About the Barbecue or Barbecue Blackstone and Beer or on Facebook, and then we can put your comments up here as well, too. So welcome in, everybody. It is Thursday night. I'm excited for tonight.
What's that noise going on? What's that noise going around in the background there? Is that hashtag handsome fighting or bro?
That's hashtag handsome. Right above me.
It sounds like there's a little bro. I think secretly he wants to be on the show all the time, and that's why every Thursday he does whatever he's doing right above you.
It's a good possibility.
All right, are you ready? We got to pay. First of all, let's pay some bills because we have. As I said, thanks to our awesome, amazing sponsors, and one of them's on the show today. All right, go ahead.
Are we just doing the video first?
Sure, do the video. Let's do it. Let's try it out. This is Ryan's new video.
We're expanding. We're having fun. We're getting stuff going, and this is our outro video. But I'm working on something during the middle of everything. But you'll see this at the end of the show too. So
thank you so much, guys. You've been absolutely amazing. Thank you. You guys are the best. Thank you so much.
How can you change the TV channel without the remote?
I don't know. I'm in the middle of a podcast. So on that note, I'm going to go help her out. But
hey, it's not any worse than Trisha doing dishes.
Kind of. I have to leave.
Oh, well, we'll see it. Don't worry about it. I'll handle things.
Actually, no, sorry. Now she's vacuuming.
She doesn't like the podcast.
Anyways, all right. Great show tonight. One of our newest sponsors of the show, Scott Conrad.
Well, I didn't even get to say anything. I didn't even get to say
anything
nice about him. I didn't get to say anything nice before he came on.
All right, go ahead.
Well,
sorry. All right, sorry.
Hey guys.
Scott, welcome to the show. I'll be right back.
Ryan's just a little excited. Well, he's out to take care of while he goes take care of the TV. Scott here we co-cooked our steaks at the Shed Barbecue and Blues Joint at the Shed Showdown, and he introduced me to a new grill, which you can see behind you there. And I think, I was kind of looking at it to begin with. I'm like, what is this thing? It's the weirdest looking thing I've ever seen in my life. And then Scott ran me through it, which we'll get into and stuff like that. And I'm going to tell you, it's one of the best grills that I've ever seen. It's got the most functions and everything. I don't know when Ryan's going to be back. But on a different note, since it's just me and Scott, and we're the only ones that have experience with this, I want to, as I showed it to Scott in the green room, I want to show you something I got today because I got it all the way from Mississippi. And I'm going to put my Shed hat on. I was reading her little note. I was reading her little note. And Brad Orison had a lot to do with what's going on with it. There he is. right, so we got our shed hats on. I saw on Facebook that when we were down at the shed on Friday night, we had the welcome dinner from MBBQA or whatever it was, and they served king cake. I had no idea what king cake was. Thank God I had Trisha with me, which, of course, Trisha started going into this long explanation as to what king cake was and about the little baby things and this and that. And, of course, it was the end of the day, so I was hungry. And I said, well, I really don't care about the baby thing. I just want to eat it. And so we got in. It was the most, Ryan, it's the most amazing. I don't know if you ever had a king cake, Ryan?
I maybe. I don't remember.
It's
amazing.
It was the most delicious thing ever. And then the other day I happened to be on Facebook and I saw somebody had shipped from the bakery down there in Mississippi to their house. And I didn't even know they shipped. So I reached out. And guess what? They don't really ship. They're in the process of doing that and getting their website all set up. So I am part of, along with a few other people, the initial shipping process of these king cakes. And they came in this beautiful FedEx box. And I'm going to go get the box because the box was the FedEx box. The FedEx box.
Oh, the food, Ryan. The food down there was amazing.
I know. Steve's. I got.
They set a table. You just went.
So here's the Fed. I don't know if you can see it with all the glare, but this is the FedEx box that came in. It's a Mardi Gras all over it, and then it says.
I'm surprised it made it to you.
Yeah, it says king cake on it. I know with all the advertising on it, I'm surprised.
That one got damaged in shipment and transit, so we had to ship it.
Yeah, right. We sent you just the empty box. So anyway, so you open up the little box, and here it is. It's from Sucre du Lot. I hope I said it correctly. I had to call to make sure I pronounced it right. Sucre du Lot Bakery. If I can get this to.
That stuff's perfect.
Oh, you gotta take your camera like that.
There, good. Is it working? So anyway, it comes in this little box. Can we all see it? So you can go to their Facebook page, Sucre du Lot on Facebook, and you can message them, and they will work a way to get it shipped to you. But here it is in here. You open it up. It's got the little sugar in there. It's got some little sprinkles here. I don't spill it. And then here's the bread. It is so good. I was so excited today. I was in communication with them. And it even gives a little, Miranda gives her whole little story of how she baked and all that other stuff. And Brad was one of the people to help get her started in all this. And that was great. And she did a great job with it. And they're expanding and they're doing a great job. And I hope we're getting like no comments, Ryan. So I'm wondering what is going on.
They're all in here, guys. Say hi.
Are they all in there? Okay. People feel free to ask questions or say anything, make comments or whatever. That's what we're on here for. But anyway, it's a great little bakery. Reach out to them on Facebook, Sucre du Lot on Facebook. Yeah, I know. But they're working on the website.
What an amazing area. Beautiful.
And it was good. It was a good cake, wasn't it? Oh, there they are. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, see, there they are. Fantastic. It was so good down there. I think I went back up. I don't know if you were supposed to, but I think I went up and had like 3 pieces. I wasn't
sure. Following you through it.
You do see that he is raving about this king cake and everything like that, and then orders one and has it shipped, but doesn't call me and say, "Hey, this thing is excellent. Do you want one?"
I want to surprise you with it, but I you know what? And even I got the original, and then I also got, and this one I'm really excited about.
So we love to feed people. I love to eat.
That's great.
I didn't get this body by barbecue by nothing.
Right. So they also got. So I mean, she was very nice, responding and everything, and she's like, "Oh, you just want one traditional?" And I said, "Okay, no, I'm ordering. I'm getting." So I got a turtle one too. So that one comes with all the caramel and all the other stuff. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh man,
because my lights are all goofy. We turn the light down again. So yeah, so you can see. It's got the caramel and the pecans and the chocolate on it. Lift up more. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I don't know if
that looks amazing.
So, yeah, so this is great. So get on there. Hey, Joey Wilson on there. You like turtles? Joey Wilson. I know Joey likes to eat too, and he's a Operation Barbecue Relief. He's one of my extra. I'm an honorary Wilson, so I get to. He's a good friend. So big shout out to Sucre du Lot Bakery down there in Ocean Springs, Mississippi. get on there. Mardi Gras is next week or this week or whatever. Fat Tuesday's next Tuesday or something like that.
Look at that. Ready? Bam.
What's that? Oh wow! Did you put it out there? Oh, look at
We got the website out there. The Facebook link is out there, so make sure.
That's the only reason I have him on this show. And then I got somebody to banter with. So anyway,
I can kick you out very easily.
No, you don't have to do that today. So anyway, so get on there, get to the bakery. It is, as always, as Ryan knows, my favorite is always shop local, shop small. They are as small as it can get, and get out there and spend some money with a nice small business. And I know they're in Mississippi, but I know we're in Chicago. And
I was just going to say though, just because they're not local to us doesn't mean they're not local to people there.
Right.
So they're still local.
And I know people watch all over. So if you're in the area, the Ocean Springs are beautiful. Oh, that's all I can tell you.
I know. I've heard all about it multiple times, and I know I didn't make it.
Well, it's as we talked on that other show. It's like a little bit of heaven in just a small little area. I felt like I was in a whole different. I was looking for Andy and Barney Fife to start walking down the street. I mean, that's how I felt. I felt like I was in the middle of a small
Mayberry?
town like Mayberry. Yeah. So. Anyway, get to that bakery. Order.
Oh, I
a
will
king
say,
cake. And
Billy Chapman over on Instagram said that is really awesome customer service.
No, it did, and it got here really quick because they do it. They ship it out, and it's FedEx really quick here. So I ordered it. I ordered it on Monday, and it was here today. So I think they do 2-day air to make sure it gets there fresh, and great customer. They return the answers right away. Now I know from everybody watching this show, the thousands and millions of people, you know, if you all flood their phone and messenger at one time, they're not gonna be able to do it. But anyway,
What's up? Grills and Biddles with Nick and Jay. Thanks for
coming. So off of King Cakes, and I can't wait to eat that thing. It took all my power from like 5 o'clock today till like now to like not eat it. So I'm excited. That was the excitement of today.
Guys, I forgot to before Scott got on the show. And before I forget, since people are probably listening now, we are streaming on Spotify too. If you guys want to go back.
Oh yeah, that's right. We're on Spotify too. So go follow. Hey, you know what? I went on and I followed us on Spotify.
I'm glad you followed us.
Oh, just in case I missed the show.
It's I can't with you tonight.
I'm all.
That's like, geez, this is what I came on the show for.
I'm all jacked.
No, it's all good, man.
I'm all jacked up because of the king cakes.
I know.
I can't tell you how
13 and a half minutes about.
You haven't even hit the sugar yet.
He hasn't even had it.
I know. 13 minutes
we
about
got
the
till
king
next
cake.
Thursday to calm down.
That's the only reason why I asked Scott to come on, because he ate the king cake too. So
That was amazing.
So I figured we'll do the whole show about the king cake, and then,
There's this crowd of people just huddling around the table, and I was like, "What's going on?" And then there was the king cake, and time stopped. It was good.
It was so good. I had like 3 pieces. I swear, I think I pushed Johnny Joseph off to get 1 piece too. He was taking
It was awesome.
He was taking too long in line. I had to just come on, Johnny, let's go. I want to get another.
The Shed is so cool. So anybody out there, go to the Shed. It's so cool. Steve.
Yeah, Ryan.
How cool is that place?
I know.
It's like
I knew that was coming.
It's a rec bar, blues house, coolness, greatness, amazing. I mean, what do you call it? It was awesome.
That's about as professional of an endorsement as you get.
I don't know what to say. And they started with a single shed. Do you remember that story?
Yeah, we've had them on. They've told us the story. Yeah.
Oh, it's amazing. Good.
Yeah.
I was blown away.
So anyway, this second best thing that happened down there was I got to cook a steak, as Ryan knows. Actually, it was the first best thing. Actually, king cake will probably be second, but it's close. It's a tie almost. And Jim Taylor, as before I went down there, as I told you the whole story about the whole doing it. Oh, you're gonna cook with my friend Scott. Yeah, he kind of knows what he's doing. Yeah, he's walked a couple times. He kind of has and we had the greatest time down there to Shed, because to be honest with you, Scott knew a lot of stuff, but the two of us were flying by the seat of our pants. We loved the whole thing.
Oh.
Yeah,
Ryan, you would have fit right in.
I know.
But,
I'm sorry, Scott, that you had to stand next to him and cook.
But as I was saying before,
I got you to meet me. So
he is the owner and innovator of the Spitfire grill, which he has behind him there. And as I was mentioning earlier, I saw it originally, and I'm like, what is this guy thinking? Be nice, and just he's letting you use his grill, and
It was fun.
and then it was fun, and then he went over this grill, and then Scott's gonna show us all the other stuff. This grill, you can do live fire, you can do charcoal regular grilling, you can do smoking on it, you can flip the air around in there so where it comes out the bottom, you can broil in the bottom, you can do pizza in the bottom. This thing does everything. I was absolutely amazed.
I love the picture on the homepage.
Isn't that sexy?
It's just great. It's like peaceful, calm, and everything.
That's a great lake, by the way.
Is it Great Lake?
That's Lake Erie in the background.
Oh, it's Lake Erie.
It's one of the Great Lakes.
So, Scott, how did you what made you, because we got two things we got to talk about your inventions.
How much time do we have?
Oh, we can go as long as we want. What made you come up with what were your thoughts behind the whole thing?
Well, okay, so going way back, Steak Ager has been around for a while, and we create tech for dry aging beef at home, and that's the stuff back here. Although that stuff's doing different stuff. Our business is primarily dry aging, and we want to deliver that tech into your home and give you the best steaks ever. And it was a natural extension to ask the question, well, how do you take the best steak ever at home and really cook it up? And not messing around with the normal equipment, but what do they do at Luger's? What do they do at the great steakhouses? And it's all high temperature. It's all wood. How do you do it? How do you replicate it at home? And that got us playing with charcoal because we love charcoal. I'm a charcoal guy. And wood. And how do you make the right temperatures to do great steaks, which is 900, 950. You want that blazing salamander heat, infrared or what, it doesn't matter. You need lots of heat, quick cooks. So I wanted to replicate that. And that got into the engineering cycle of pushing air through charcoal, kind of old school, like a forge, but they used to make swords this way. And if you push air through charcoal, you're going to get extreme temperatures. And we got extreme temperatures and wrecked everything we were using. So it began with my little Smoky Joe. I took the bottom right out of it. The incredible heat that I wanted to get to was scary. And if we could wander around with, I have those fancy glasses, I'd show you my wall of fame of all the destructive iterations of design where we literally in one cook took apart stainless steel. Like it just spalled and fell apart. There's such drastic, the engineering of it was quite a journey, I guess is what I'm saying. And you need to engineer to a standard where it's safe and fun. And it took us a couple of years, 26 different iterations. And we arrived at a solution, which is right here, in a size that we thought was a great place to start. And what we do, the charcoal lives up top, and you can cook underneath. And that's where we want that salamander, ultra high temperature broiling. And we created a greased pan that spins, so you can manage your pizzas, you can manage whatever. If you're broiling underneath, of course you want the fat to go down, you don't want the flare-ups. And you can balance all the different things you're cooking, and you can get that high temperature, that crisping the veg that you want to put in your cast iron under this. It's just a brilliant job, like a restaurant would, that you'd pay high dollar for. And then you can cook above, and then you can cook more above. And we began to explore this vertical space, which nobody does in grilling. Like, hey, all that waste heat's coming up here. I can use that. I can keep my stuff warm. I don't have to say, hey, Amy, turn the oven on so I can keep the veg warm while we finish the steaks. No, put it right here. Or I can put my beer right here. Either or can spin out. So it creates a platform, and it was really a personal experience where I just said, what more do I want? Well, what I didn't want, my electric smoker, I have a it's gone. It's kind of going like this. And so I need to smoke because I smoke once a month. I get, time slows down on a Sunday, and I'm like, okay, let's smoke. We're going to do this. How do we do it? Well, I've got to get that going on. So we've created the fixturing within the system so you can smoke all day. I will say this because I know through the barbecue competitions, I've met so many literally professional smokers. We're not trying to do that. We're trying to unleash that little tiny beast when you feel like it and not win championships. That's not what we're about. We can't put a whole brisket on this. We got to put a half a brisket. We're not in that zone. We want to have a device. My design thinking is I want a device that can do everything, but not fill up my backyard. I don't want multiple devices lined up in a row. Atrophy, entropy, right? Everything rusts. Everything. You only use it once in a while, and next thing you know, the hinge doesn't work. I wanted a device where everything happens at one space. So that's what we did with the Spitfire. So we've done it with gas with the Spitfire too, and Steve saw that, and we're going to work on that and get you one. That's in let's call it a pre-market condition, meaning we've got a 13,000 BTU broiler underneath, and we've got a ring burner above, and you can bounce back and forth with cast irons, broiling, high temp, searing, whatever you want to do. And the entire meal does a bunch of different things. This zone's 300, this zone's 200, this zone's 500 or higher. You want flame searing, you want to come underneath and drive heat it. All these things I want to do all at once without running around my deck. So, or back into the kitchen. And that was the genesis of how this was designed. And I like to think it puts the fun back into charcoal because it does. You're bouncing around doing things you could never do with charcoal.
Well, yeah, I mean, and like you were saying, and the live fire basket that you have up on top. I mean, we use that for because we weren't using it, but when we were doing our steaks down there, I mean, it held the rubs, it held our thermometer, it held anything that we needed to have right nearby. And it was well, you had it on a nice table, it was at a nice height. But for all you steak cookers out there that are wondering if it gets heat, as Scott can attest to, I mean, I know that you're supposed to have your grill grates probably closer to 550, 600 degrees. Obviously we paid attention the whole time we were cooking, but our grill grates were around 750 sometimes. I mean, they just got hot. I mean, not that we weren't talking to each other or goofing around and paying attention, but so it will get the heat. I mean, I was actually shocked when we shot it. Up on top when we shot it, and I was like, "Oh, don't worry, Scott. It's only at 750. We'll be fine. These will be done quick. We'll get good sear marks for sure." And but I mean, it gets the heat.
So last summer, Amy and I hit a few SCA competitions. Absolutely a great time. We walked two of them, and what a wonderful community and a great space. We wanted to introduce what we were doing. I mean, I might sound old-fashioned, but you race on a weekend, you sell on a Monday, right? It's old school. So I wanted to go to the competitions. I wanted to see how we fared against all the other tech. And I'm not a competition steak guy. And we're blown away. We had so much fun, and that's what the Shed was. And we've learned so much. Like we can go elevated on the grill or on the grate. This is a typical grill grate. But when we put the grill grates up top for competition, we can go 750. You just don't cook as long, and then you finish underneath. Mm-hmm. So all of our motions in competition are different, and you have to kind of go to the competition and go, well, what am I doing here? And then you realize if I'm cooking hot dogs up here, I'm 400 degrees underneath here constantly. Yep. And I can finish under here gently, and I can roar above, or I can put the air through the top and sear the heck out of it down here, and then finish it up here on the rotatable racks, which you can cool it down, bring it back into heat, and finish it with a static system. You got only so much heat energy. You got to use it quick, get it in, get it out. We're just dancing around this plume of heat, and it's a lot of fun. It's fun. So
Yeah, and if anybody remembers any of the pictures I posted online you'll see and some of the pictures I did when I was cooking on it. That's how we finished. So you got your sear marks and all this other stuff on the top like you're supposed to, and then instead of moving it to an upper rack, we put it down underneath just to let it finish coming up to temperature. And it was nice because you could spin that bottom rack if it needed. You put it under there to where it get a lot more heat, and then you could bring it out. I'm telling you, it was one of the funnest. I mean, I'm still jacked up about the King Cake.
Yeah.
But anyway,
and you get this,
the grill it was amazing.
The thing about how this thing cooks is this. So we literally pressurize the lid with air, force it to the charcoal, and you get reverse convection, crazy heat under here. But the minute you stop the fan, it goes back to normal natural convection, and then you get infrared underneath the charcoal because the charcoal burns in both directions. I mean, that glowing orange, it's working underneath and it's working above. And we live in both spaces on either side of it. So it becomes a dance about what do you want to do? Oh, I want to braise my broccolini or whatever you're doing. And it just goes in there and toasts it up and braises it, pull it up top, in goes the steak, finish it with a little bit of kiss of flame, you're done. I mean, it's fun. It puts the fun back into charcoal. And yeah, that's great. Now, the gas iteration of this, which on our deck at home, we've got the same stainless steel table that Stephen, you and I cooked on. I've got gas on one side and I've got charcoal on the other, and I'm sharp. Gas is just the lazy, crazy, easy Monday night solution when you're tired on Tuesday. Right? You click, go. It's like
every day during the weekend.
But when you hit the weekend, or even as you approach the weekend, it's all charcoal.
So I haven't seen one of these in person. So the charcoal's in the middle of it.
It's right here. Do we have the basket in there, Nate? Here we go. So we have a basket.
Thank God for Nate.
Right.
Yes. Thanks, Nate. He's a new guy. Got to have new guys. So this basket lives right here on the inside. And the charcoal, you fill it level, and it inserts right in the top. And I'll just drop it in right now. And it lives right there, right where my fingers are. And then we have a fan at the back that pressurizes air. If you drop the lid, Nate, please. Yeah. So we have this fan here, mounts onto the back. Oh, Nate's new.
Hey.
Oh, these new guys.
He's got it down though. He's doing a great job for you.
There
Perfect.
So this mounts in the back, and it pressurizes the lid and forces air through the charcoal. Now we've got old school heat, like charcoal with an positive airflow. You make steel with. I mean, it's old school. This is how they forge swords and do crazy stuff, build stuff back in the day. Well, we're driving that heat through, and we'll literally see flames licking up. So now we have it's a salamander, a charcoal and wood-fired salamander, where you literally got, depending on how much you load. I mean, you can load this thing up. We've had, I can do crazy temperatures. So the body is cast aluminum because, like an engine block, we want to diffuse that energy as much as possible, as fast as possible, because there's so much energy potential there. It will take apart any finish, any ceramic. The heat shock of this going to work and making great food would take apart any grill in the market. It just doesn't work. I've got a wall full of destruction.
I guess like I said, again, not seeing it in person, and I'm just asking the questions because I'm assuming other people want to know the questions too. So no ash comes through the bottom then?
You know what? If you smash and bang on, you get a little bit of ash, but the way it's built, it's got a high temperature fine screen that we took a lot of different iterations to get to the balance point where you don't see any ash, very little, if ever, and it does its job brilliantly. air likes to go through more than ash likes to go down. That's where it is. And it's part of the process. Our process is empirical, where we tinker, destroy, rebuild, tinker, destroy. I mean, it's just part of the path of this kind of stuff. And it works perfectly. And and it gives. So one of the things we have issues describing is, okay, so what do you mean you got 3 different cooking surfaces? 1, 2, 3. Oh, wait, 4. The 4 different cooking surfaces in one space, all different temperatures at the same time. And these are adjustable up and down.
There's your four zones then.
Yeah. And then the last one is up top. You can put a 12-inch pan on the vent. So you get your sauces going up here, get your chicken wings going on under here, right? Warm your veg up here, do your pizza down here, run your pizza or finish your pizza underneath. Whatever, you just move stuff around in the plane in this vertical plume of heat. So we're harvesting all of that to cook.
I mean, everything that you're talking and the different components that you're getting. I mean, I haven't looked, and I mean, I guess I can't. I'm thinking like $750.
Yeah. Oh, up top?
No,
price.
Sorry, price?
Price, yeah.
Yeah, about that. But if you load it up, buy the stand, we make a stand. Everything we do is hot, right? Everything we do is hot. So our stand is all steel, stainless steel. So when the pizza oven comes out, when the grease-filled pan comes out, everything can handle it up and down. So it can add up. But yeah, $750 loaded with the smoking set, absolutely. And you'll be able to do everything.
Yeah, Doug, when he says the smoking set, he does have a, because he showed it to me when we were down there, but he does have a thing that sits in there that has the heat deflector stone in it so that it does do the indirect. You like that look I did on the screen? The indirect cook to it.
Yeah, I'll show you in a second, guys. I'm going to put Nate to work again.
Poor Nate.
Nate's earning his pay tonight.
He's a good guy.
He didn't think he was signing up for this tonight.
He's really new. Don't be nice. Okay, so we talked about the screen. It has a support rack.
Show the bottom of that charcoal basket, Scott.
Yeah.
So you can see, so Ryan can see what he's talking about.
Okay, so I was telling Steve I had a filter coming in, so I look 20 years younger and 20 pounds lighter. This is it.
Yeah, so you could.
Oh,
it's
okay. You can see.
You can barely see through it. I mean, it is like the finest mesh you'll ever see. So it's like, I mean, like he's saying, the airflow goes through it, but it doesn't. There's not, because I'm telling you right now, our steaks were both under there warming up, and we didn't get any. No, we didn't. Oh, and no, mine towards the end of the second, my steak, I had him put the blower on so I could raise up the temperature, and I didn't see any. And we'd have been running that thing all day.
So I'll tell you what. We stress charcoal, so we understand heat. We know when charcoal is a fail. Like if it's shitty charcoal, just to be blunt, I won't use a brand name. It just doesn't do the nice thing. So Smoky Woods, Jim, this stuff's perfect. I mean, you know what's another good one? Old Faithful. Kingsford works great. But here's the difference. You get all the heat units out of it. Let's talk about Kingsford. It's so finely compacted into the briquettes that you can only get one cook. And Jim's, the lump charcoal, you can cook all day. You can literally just keep dropping in lump with tongs. You don't slam it like any system. You want to keep that heat going. I can cook all day. We've done tailgates 5-6 hours, Cleveland Browns, Carolina Panthers, all day. But you got to just keep tonging additional lump charcoal, and it just keeps going and going. I mean, literally 30, 40 pieces. It's fun. But this would normally be a level basket of charcoal, and that's what you start with. And then you dump charcoal from your chimney, you dump your starter charcoal on, and then drop the lid and let the air push the burning charcoal through the unburned charcoal. And as soon as the smoke clears underneath, 1,000 degrees. Done.
1,000 degrees, Ryan.
Yeah, I've melted aluminum. Part of my process was destructive, And part of getting to safe and fun is destroying everything to get to the right solution. And but when you're smoking, it's a different animal. So we use this to set a smoke ring up. So you line it with briquettes and your chunks of wood. It fits underneath. Right up in there. You light that up, and there's 4 hours. One smoke ring is 4 hours of smoke. And then our rig, I don't have one handy here, has a pizza stone as a heat deflection plate or a dissipation, and then it's got a water basket, a water bowl, and then you put your pork butt, put your turkey in, leave it all day long. And it's a little different, just like Steven said when we cook the steaks. You've got different characteristics to deal with. We just go for smoke, keep it low temperature, we don't care. Then we fill the basket, raise the temperature, and then pull it when it's at the right temperature. As opposed to hitting the right temperature and running all day. Different, smaller system, different physics, if you will. So works great. It's great. Then you throw everything in a dishwasher and you're done. I like that too.
It's a real cool grill, Ryan.
I like it. I did go. I got on the shop site here. So the base price is $549.
Yes, exactly.
For the grill.
I wouldn't have thought that. I was thinking $750 just for the base itself.
Yeah.
I didn't think I was looking at some of these, and I grabbed one of the pictures here. I think I got it up. For you guys that get one of these and you have a truck and you got a hitch.
Yes,
look at this.
There you go.
Look at that.
Yeah, so
it's got the Rome. It's called a Rome rig.
Yeah, it fits onto your standard 2-inch trailer hitch, a Reese hitch. That thing's great. I mean,
that's football games.
Stuff around.
That's tailgating. That's everything. You're done.
Yes, absolutely. And actually, the great thing is we made it longer because when the tailgate drops, there's your serving platform. And then you add. So the way we've designed this piece of equipment here, where am I? Yeah, this is removable, so it's got a stand that you can have out back. And then you're going to tailgate, you undo it, pick the whole works up, put it on your tailgate. So this goes on your tailgate. So you got all this workspace. Because you always need room for having fun. You need square footage. And this is, I'll cook on the right side. This is the right side grill is optional. This is standard. This always tends to, unless I'm doing like fish or something, I got steaks underneath and something kind of lighted hard up top, taking that heat and goodness. Anyways, I always hang stuff. This is where the brewski goes, and this is where life happens, and we'll slice up and snack off it. I mean, this is the way a grill should be. Yeah. Hanging out, having fun, doing it all.
It's a cool grill. Hey, you know what else? You know what I ordered in at Wanamaker's too, Jim? Or Scott called you Jim. Scott, you know what I got? I got those smoked potato chips. Remember the smoked potato chips?
Oh, yeah, they were so good.
Yeah.
And 2 bags going up the highway heading home. Oh.
The potato chip, both the corn chip and the potato chip one.
They were delicious. That was a nice guy.
Yeah, they were amazing. Needless to say, Brian, they were must have been a sponsor or something, and so of course they're little bags of them everywhere. So I mean, not that you didn't have a choice of things to snack on, but they were the best smoked potato chips I've ever had. So
I've never had a smoked potato chip.
I mean, I'm saying I shouldn't say I haven't had smoked potato, but I mean, as far as like a barbecue flavored type of chip, they were really good. I can't tell you how many of those stupid little bags I ate.
They were so good.
And Scott is correct. He started that up at the beginning. As I told the story last week, I only did steak B. Poor Scott did steak A and B.
You beat me. You beat me.
I know. Well, see.
It was a good
anyway,
then.
So no, I mean we fed off of each other's ideas because we each did different things. But the nice thing about it was I did my practice steak. We did practice steaks first, and then I was able to say, "Okay, Scott, when do I got to turn in?" And he's like, "Oh, it's like 4. When I was like 4:30 or 4:15 or something like that, whatever it was." And I said, okay, so that means we really, we got to marinate around like 2:00 or something, 3, whatever it was. So I said, I'm going to go and take a nap. See, that's the best part of only doing one steak is that you could go and take a nap. So needless to say, I get up from my nap and I got Jim calling me. He's like, oh, Scott says it's time to marinate. And I'm like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I just got up from my nap. You want to make sure I didn't forget the chance of a lifetime to cook
the Cozy Rosie.
Oh, it was fun. It was so much fun.
This is the Cozy Rosie. I was like within walking. I was literally it was like a 3-minute commute. So
I didn't go there to win. I went there to meet great people, and I had such a great time. I'm in guerrilla marketing mode where I build this grill. This is my baby. I just want to talk to people about it. It makes me happy. And the folks that are competing are absolute pros. Here, it's a science, right? Remember, Steve?
Yep.
Some of the conversations we have with the judges and how these folks craft the experience for the judges, like, wow, it's amazing. It's amazing.
And then to touch on our barbecue family thing that Ryan and I always touch on every single week, just so everybody knows, you hear me and Scott bantering back and forth like we've known each other forever. Well, no, we just met each other at the Shed, and we've only seen each other like once. But that's how the barbecue family and community is that
it's a wonderful community.
And we were like this, like after an hour of fumbling around with our steaks. This is how we were, because that's just how it is there.
And you beat me. Oh,
see that, Ryan? And all that browbeating you give me. Oh, you've never cooked anything.
Ryan, you did good.
Yeah, see? My steak looked pretty darn good. Oh, and then I found out, Scott, we were tying our steaks too tight.
Yes. Oh, you know how I screwed up? Okay, complete screw up. So, Ryan, I'm a dry aged steak guy. So let's go get the Wayback Machine going. My palate is completely adjusted to dry aged steak. I haven't had a wet aged cryovac fresh steak in 10 years.
Wow.
10.
The rest of us.
This is my business. So this is what, and with dry age, it's like, okay, you're going to cook it to 124, 125, salt, pepper, nothing fancy, just boom, let the steak do the work, because that's where the beauty is. And we have events. Nate and I had an event tonight where I introduced them to the differences. You cook a wet aged steak, a dry aged steak, and then what's the difference? What do you think, Nate?
There's a very, very clear difference.
It's a very clear difference. Anyways, so here I am cooking wet aged steak. Oh my God. So what I screwed up, Steve, was I cooked to internal temp. Just for the record, I would have kicked your butt, but my internal temp was too low, because by rote, I shut it all down with dry age at 124, and then I let it cool. A 5-minute rest, and then I cut into it. We go. You can't do it's 136, 138 with cryovac. But my reptile brain kicked in. I go, 124 done. Off to the judge, and I got clipped. They gave me a haircut for that one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think I pulled mine at like 128, just because I figured it would like continue to do its thing. But I think I did pretty. Ryan, I handled myself pretty darn
so
well.
Cool. The comps are great. They're so much fun.
Yeah, that's probably my last one until next year. So just so you know.
Come to China Grove, North Carolina.
I'd love to. I like North Carolina.
That's great. I'm in Boone. Hi, everybody from Boone, North Carolina, up in the mountains.
And that was the funny other thing, Ryan, when we were there, is he said he was from Boone, and he's like, and I'm like, oh, I know, I've been through Boone, and he's like, I mean, who knows Boone, North Carolina? I mean, especially somebody from Chicago, you know what I mean? And I told him, I said, no, I stayed in a cabin that was in, what did I tell you, Fleetwood, and you had to drive through Boone, and I thought Boone was a pretty cool little town. And again, as far as southern little towns go, and it was funny. See how small world. Everything's a small world. So.
Boone is an absolutely spectacularly beautiful community. Watauga, where we are, beautiful. We're at 34 to 4,000 foot elevation. It's permanent spring. It's gorgeous. Fresh air. I mean, Charlotte's an hour and a half away from us. So you've got everything with elevation, which means you get 4 seasons. So it's just gorgeous. It's just pristine. And it's home. It's a beautiful community.
Yeah,
Come visit.
Just in case anybody's wondering, Boone is in that area. And how did you guys do through the hurricane? Everything, it was more further south than you, or was it?
No, it hit us right in the teeth, buddy. Cracked teeth and all. We got walloped.
Yeah.
Now, Amy and I, our business, our house, our critters, everybody's okay. It destroyed everything around us. So we got walloped. And it was, I almost got killed. I mean, it's crazy. We had 24 inches of rain in 12 hours. And if you imagine the mountains, I mean, everything goes through the valleys, right? The roads go through the valleys. The rivers go by the road. We're in the mountains. This is what we do. And we've done it for 200 years. And 400, whatever, however long people have been here. And the entire mountains got up and left. Like the subsoil, everything's so, and that's where the real destruction occurred, like absolute destruction. And the community, and I will shout out to Western North Carolina Strong. If anybody out there wants to donate, please do. And there was tens of thousands of people without homes. And, our community is in pain. And there's still 7,500 people at 10 degrees and 20 degrees Fahrenheit without homes. So they got FEMA hot tents. I mean, when that mudslides and all the trees and everything came down, guys,
stop that. Yeah, if you're in the way of that, there's no stopping that when it starts moving.
I think we've all in the community got a little PTSD. It was absolutely horrific. And,
I think today is 1 year, or no,
well, 6 months.
6 months. Yeah,
6 months.
6 months.
It was brutal. And then I tell you what, Amy has a business in Asheville, North Carolina.
Oh, that guy.
And that city had no water for 3 months. A city. What?
Entire bridges were just gone, like complete cut access from areas of.
Just imagine a blanket of 2 foot of lake, a Great Lake, landing in the mountain region and leaving within 12 hours. Just
it's incredible.
Asheville. Here's the lowdown. So they had a hurricane. I don't know when it was, back in the day, 2000. I don't know what it was, and they hardened their infrastructure on the rivers to 24 feet. Okay, got it.
Yep.
Check. Went 28 foot. Everything's gone. Every sewer plant, every piece of pipe. They don't even know where it is. It's just gone. Just wow.
Wow.
And to see the destruction, and so if anybody wants to help out in Appalachia and North Carolina and these communities, it's real. And find it online. Come see us and help us out. It'd be great.
I know my buddy, if I can find his comment in here. He's in, I think it's Greenville or Goldenville.
Yeah, that's a little south. Yeah.
But I went out there to see him, and he's part of the Blackstone Griddle crew with me. He's not here, but that's his old comment, Mr. Daniel Anderson, Big Country. He got together with a whole bunch of other people and took all their Blackstones out there and got food together and went out there and cooked.
Amazing. You should have seen the response. It was so. I don't know how to describe it. I've never been through anything like this in my life. So I've been around for a while. I'm a Great Lakes guy. That's where I'm from, same as you guys. And, nothing moves around up our way.
Yeah, right.
It just doesn't happen. We'll get a lot of snow. Oh, okay. This was insane. And then the lights went out. And then the water's out. And then everything's out. The roads are out. The houses are under the bridge. And everything shuts down. And then, Amy and I put together next time this happens, how do we deal with this better? Spreadsheet. Because you just go, oh my God. We didn't have power for 5 days. Asheville didn't have power for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Didn't have water for 2 or 3 months.
There was a big effort to, the Watauga County did a great job.
Come on in, Nate.
Nate, come on the screen.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah, Watauga County did a great job. I think they got power back to everyone within like 3 weeks to a month, like the whole county, which is very impressive. All across the county, free food for everyone, free water. I mean, there were just like pallets in front of churches of water, of clothes, of food. Anyone could come and take it. It was an amazing response and really showed how strong our community
and
was.
in all the communities. So every contractor worth a nickel loaded up everything they had, filled it up with gas, and was heading up the mountain to help out. And it was amazing and heartening.
Yeah.
I mean, and then when the government finally said, "Hey, there's a problem," then to see all the military stuff come in overhead, just helicopters. They were helicoptering people off mountains. The roads were gone. Everything's gone. It's hard to imagine 2 feet of water moving, but it is apocalyptic, I guess would be the way. Is that a good word?
Yeah. I mean, people are still recovering. There's a lot of people who don't have houses, whose home literally washed away, like completely gone. And these people are still recovering. They're still working out how to live life now.
It's super hard.
It's very difficult for our community, but the thing is, people are still offering help, even 6 months out. Everyone is still, there's still tons of people who are like at the border to Tennessee helping out. I know like one person I'm close with goes almost every Friday and helps out. There's tons of churches who still give free food. And
you know who was amazing? Shout out to Samaritan's Purse.
Yeah.
Those guys are like the military. They set up within 12 hours.
Yeah, it was
12 hours.
Really quick response.
And they just, thousands of people mealed through their system. They lined them up in orange shirts and safety gear. And yeah, it's crazy.
With the silk.
Yeah.
Well, prayers to that whole community, and hope things every day get a little bit better than they were the day before. So
it took and everybody's doing a great job, but there's still a lot of pain. So it's not gone away. Communities and working folk, I don't know how to say this. You get the higher elevations, and then you get the lower elevations, right? And the working folk, everybody's scattered. It's Appalachia. Everybody's everywhere. And that water came down. It took out their houses, took out their domiciles. I mean, it was just
Crazy.
Crazy. So, but help. Find us online. Western North Carolina Strong. There's a bunch of different charities. If anybody's out there, we would appreciate it. There's still lots of need. We're not in the news cycle anymore.
No, unfortunately. Fortunately, the American news cycle is very short, and from being on many of a disaster and hurricanes and stuff like that, your goal is to get your message out as fast as you can, probably within the first 7 or 8 days, because usually it's you're off the front page within 7 or 8 days. That you can do a lot of great from Operation Barbecue Relief. You can do a lot of great things from day 7, day 7 to day 30, but they only know that you were there 7 days. So that's the sad part about it is that the news cycle goes through.
I found it confusing and incredibly stressful. What do you do? Everything gets wiped out. Everything's wiped. You just go, life stops, right? And it's like a series of circles, right? Okay, Amy's okay, the critters are okay, the house is okay. You keep expanding your circle of how can I help? And I'm not a special forces guy. I can't run around the mountains. Those guys ran out immediately, heading up into the back of the mountains. But the neighbors were okay. I got the tractor out. You start chainsawing and digging people out. It was the crazy. It's just let's hope it doesn't happen again.
No, or soon.
Yeah.
Well,
my Florida buddies go, we get them all the time. We grew up on them. I go, we don't.
We don't. No, especially not when you got mountains that funnel all the water into one place. Florida's not to belittle Florida.
Diminish the
but it's
down there.
But it's it's very flat and it's very sandy soil, and the waters get absorbed. I mean, you're going into mountains which are a little bit of mud, then you're getting into rock, and it's like there's not a lot of place for the water to go. So I mean, that's a lot of water for
coming out of our neighborhood. We had a house under a bridge, T-boned and broken, with water flowing over top. I mean, you sit there and go, oh, I guess the only positive is you got to look at the water line up in the trees to know where to buy houses now.
Jesus.
I mean,
It's true. Get your
It's
stilts
not
on.
good.
Start buying, put your houses
everyone
on
was
stilts.
Everyone was affected.
regardless of how bad it was for you, your neighbor was affected, someone you knew was affected, and the most you can do there is just try and help.
I've got refugee pallets in the building in the warehouse here. Folks lost everything, and there's nowhere to store anything. And I just come on in, and I build them a pallet. And they just put all their life into the pallet, and I'm just keeping it here for free. What else do you do?
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Do what you can.
It's brutal.
Well, let's switch gears. Let's switch gears to a little more positive note.
We have PTSD.
Yeah, right. Well, let's talk about your core business, other core business, and that's steak ager. I mean, why do I want a dry aged steak over a wet steak? I mean, for those of us who haven't had nothing but dry age for 10 years, I mean, for us, the rest of us world, why would we want that?
Okay, so wow, Wayback Machine. So in my previous life, did business all over the world, and I had dry aged steak in Hong Kong, New York, and Vegas, and it was amazing. It was just an amazing experience. A great steakhouse experience. Cost a lot of money, like $2 and I had a fellow ask me, "Hey, can you do that at home?" And I said, "Well, sure you can. Let me look at it. I have an engineering background." And I worked through the principles and created the tech to do it at home and inside of a fridge. And that launched the company. It's changed and morphed, and life changes. Why do you do dry aging? So your average cut of beef, any protein, including you two guys and me, is roughly 66% water. That's what we are. And so when you get a cryovac wet aged piece of meat, it's 66% water. When you dry age it, it's a process that includes temperature, obviously, humidity, and back in the day, 1,000 years ago, they'd hang a cattle up in a barn in the mountains at the right time of year, and somebody said, "Hey, that tastes great. If we hang it there for a month or 2 months or 40 days, it's a better tasting piece of meat. It's preserved. It's better." Well, guess what? When you lose water content, you concentrate beef flavor, right? The entrained greatness of a great piece of beef is concentrated. So you get a flavor pop. Now what happens if you dry age it out about 30, 35, and then 40 days, you get into what I call peak dry age experience zone, which is the beef begins to break down. It becomes almost fork tender. The flavor profile is different. Everything is different with it. And then if you age beyond that, it gets pretty adventurous. You can do all kinds of adventurous things. You can go 100 days. You can go a year. But I'm a 40-day, 45-day dry age guy because that gives me peak dry age experience. It's completely different. And we have fun here when we have guests at Steak Ager and Spitfire. We'll fire up the grills and we'll cook one wet age and we'll cook a dry age steak and do a vertical tasting between the two. You go, everybody's like, "Oh my God, I want that." Because it's just tasty. It's just better. And what our customers want to do is, well, they're steak lovers. That's number one. They've had dry age someplace. That's number two. And now they want it whenever they want dry age steak, not just a treat and a $500, $600 meal. They want, I had a bad day. I'm going to have a dry age steak. The hell with the world, right? You want to have it whenever you want on your terms and with your own personal perfection. So I like 45 days. I've locked in on, I want a boneless ribeye. I'll buy it last day on sale, but secret sauce here. Last day on sale, post holidays, freeze it, pull it out, then dry age it. You get it dirt cheap, then you get a dry aged steak. Now, once you dry age it, slab it into steaks. You cut the pellicle off. You don't lose anything. That pellicle, you can grind it for burgers. You make dry aged burgers. I use it for broth. So all of the broths in our house is pellicle, and every 6 months I'll put a giant pot of broth down, strain it, get the bouquet garnet and everything going, and then we make our own beef broth, and it goes into our soups and stews and whatever for the rest, whenever we run out. So it saves you money, it gives you everything you want, and I like having control over where I buy and when I enjoy it. And my customers want that too. We sell them all over the world. Our tech, we do it all here in Boone. I design it all. It's all built in the States. The only thing not built in the States is the raw cabinet, which is behind me. You can see the cabinet. Everything inside the cabinet is made here in Boone. The cabinet itself, we source from a high volume manufacturer. And you can see some of these cabinets. So I must say, our business is controlling humidity and temperature, right? That's dry aging. And airflow, by the way. Airflow is a very important component of that. We haven't introduced these yet, but this is our lab. And these units here control airflow, light, everything. So they can be used for growing mushrooms. They can be used for dry aging. They can be used for any project you want to do at home and try stuff, because we like to try stuff and we like to control things. And I like that. And this is our new product. We haven't introduced it yet because we're still in the test mode. We use the lab here as our testing for use cases. And we're doing, it's a totally, there's nothing like it on Earth. And that is a system that can take you from 38 degrees up to 120 degrees. So for proofing, for ferments, think about that windowsill 2 months of the year in your house where you can actually do some nice things in, right? Well, this does it whenever you want. So that's what dry aging and steak agers do. It took charcuterie where, if it's only in February, I can get away with it in my garage or my basement before something molds up and rots. No, you can make charcuterie in a steak ager, and it's perfect. The conditions are perfect. So we expanded that capability, and we call these the Harvest Labs. And you can't see it, but over in that corner is the Smart Cave, which is cheese aging. So it's a new line for us. We haven't introduced it. You're in the lab. So we're running use cases.
Wow.
That's what we do. We're not normal.
I will admit, I've never had a dry aged steak.
Really?
I have either. No.
Because Steve will contest to this. I'm a cheapskate, right? So I go out to a restaurant and I have a hard time getting a steak when I'm out anyways, because I'm like, I can do all that at home for a third of the price, right? So Huh?
I said yes. I totally agree. I'm not disparaging my chefly friends.
No,
get it right at home. Why go out for hamburger?
Right. Yeah. And that's how I feel about a lot of things. My wife likes to eat out. I would rather cook at home. But
so you guys have not had dry aged steaks?
I have not had a dry
because nobody sent us a steak ager. I mean, so we.
So here's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to send you guys steak.
Oh, I'll take steak too.
Yeah, because we're actually one of these units is devoted to steak. And we haven't started offering it yet, but I've got subprimos loaded in. And we get folks contact us go, well, tell me more. And I said, well, why don't I send you a steak and cook it this way? And it's a try before you buy type thing. So I'll send you a couple of steaks, and we'll talk about how to cook them. And I would love to be part of it. We'll do a vertical tasting. So have a wet aged, have a dry aged, and I'll tell you how to capture the variables and get some friends over and say, try this, try that. It's like a wine tasting, except it's with steak.
Now I'm scared. I'm scared. It's just like doing the classes that we do at Wanamakers when we do the Wagyu briskets. It's like, well, now I've had brisket, but now I've had Wagyu brisket, and it's like, that would be awesome. I'd be very interested. I've looked at them. and I know I'm guaranteed your systems there are probably a lot more. I have a neighbor here that has done the dry aging bags. I don't know if,
Yeah, I am not okay. So that's the Umai bags.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not going to say anything. I'm dry aging to me. Oh no, I'm not gonna say anything negative. Dry aging to me is the management of temperature, its humidity, and its airflow. That's dry aging. That's been there for thousands of years, and high-tech plastic wasn't there 1,000 years ago. So I'm gonna go back the way back machine.
Right.
Do it the old way. That's my way.
And I never asked. I never asked him. I know he did one, and I think he did it for 45 days. And now that I think about it, I never asked him how it was. So now I'm going to go ask him and see. But
I'm trying to get away from all that stuff. I'm limiting plastic and everything. I'm just like, nah, I'm good.
So controlling all those three things that you're talking about, I'm speaking for if somebody's never scared of the process. So controlling all three of those things is what stops it from rotting, because I hate to tell you, all I sit there when anybody says dry aging, I'm always thinking of, it's like, okay, this thing is just laying there drying out.
Okay,
how is it not rotting? And
let me explain.
Outer layer is not like poison.
Let me explain. So what happens is you get this wet chunk of meat, and I don't have one sitting here. A wet chunk of meat. And if the air flows around it, all over it, constantly, it's wicking the moisture away. Okay, so it makes a humid environment. And then as the compressor cycles in the fridge, it condenses that moisture, lowers the humidity, and it's a constant defrost cycle. So we circulate air constantly, 24/7, and the compressor cycle is every 6 to 8 minutes, depending on where you are. In Colorado, it's so dry, it's tougher. But anyways, depending on where you are. And that constant airflow. So let me give you an example. If you have two pieces of meat and they touch like this, within a day, it's spoiled right there. So it's the airflow. The airflow is wicking the moisture away, and then it forms a hard crust. But that airflow is still wicking the moisture out of the cut of beef. And by the way, dry aging is a function of mass. So you can't dry age a single steak. You need to do a roast.
Right.
You do 5 pounds, 10 pounds. A standard subprimal is 18 inches high, right, at Costco, wherever your big supermarkets are in Chicago. And it's about 18 inch and about 20 pounds. That's perfect. That's a standard subprimal. We mount it in our racks, put that in. It's going to be 10 steaks, 1.5 inches thick. I mean, it's good stuff. And what you do is 40 days in, you've got a hard crust, like click, click, click. You slab them into steaks. You trim that hard crust off right back to the ruby red, maybe a 3/16 of an inch. Yeah, it depends, whatever. Because, beef is organic. You don't know. You might have to trim a little more, trim a little less. I don't know. And it's always fun and experimental that way. That pellicle is not lost. You could grind that crust. It's dry aged beef. It's just dry. You can grind that crust and go 1/3 dry pellicle ground with 2/3 fresh chuck. The fresh chuck rehydrates the dry age. You get a dry aged burger. It's amazing. Ooh, best burger you've ever had. Like, it's crazy. You got to leave it overnight. That's the trick. Because you want the chuck and the dry age to
rehydrate.
Be Goombas, right? They want to get together and be friends. And back to the steak. So you got to be careful with dry age because it has no water in it. It cooks quickly. And that means you're going to cook it. I cook mine. There's no such thing as medium well with dry age. There's a rule of thumb. It's cardboard. It literally goes to cardboard. So you go to about 125. Folks will call me out and say 126 maybe. But I go 124, internal temperature with a probe, boom, pull it. You're done. Hit it with high temperature. Excuse me. Hit it with high temperature, crust, pull. A little salt and pepper. It's perfect. It's delicious.
That's
good. I'll send you some.
I'm salivating.
I didn't.
I thought about that too, because that was actually going to be one of my questions was, well, how much waste is there? But if you're reusing it and you're doing things like that, I can see that. Okay, so you're not really getting any waste out of it.
Never throw your pellicle out. I
heard
save it all.
I've heard
save it all.
35 to 45 days. What's the longest you've dry aged?
Well, I've done 60, 80. It gets adventurous. It's not my palate. Some folks are like, I'm going to 100, I'm going to a year. It's not my thing. It's just not. So what you do is you get to your personal perfection, right? This is what Amy and I want. This is my happy space. I like that. Right?
Right.
This is
what would you think a 1 year dry aged?
Well, you'd only have a piece this big, right?
Well, yeah, because wouldn't you cut off most of it because it would be?
You would. Sometimes I've seen guys dip it in butter. It forms a crust, and then it's just not my space. Because what happens beyond 45, 50 days is now you begin nature's path of decay. And now you get mushroom, you get different funk at different, and I'm a 45-day, that's my max, that's my personal space. I love it. It's like I'm done. I pull that thing out and I cook it up. I'm like, I'm good.
Kind of sounds like Steve, a different funk.
Yeah, exactly. No, but you get this. I call it personal perfection. What do you guys want, right? You sit down with your partner and you go, "That was amazing," and then I do boneless ribeye. It's got the nice fat content, and then I know how to cook it, and I know I want 45 days. And I have not had a steak in a restaurant in 10 or 12 years. It's not going to happen because I can't.
Nothing against the places. I have a hard time paying that money for it when I know I can go home and do one better.
Yeah.
That's me, right? I mean,
I
didn't compete at the Shed. I'm just saying.
You missed a good opportunity too. Me and Scott.
Next year, we got next year.
SCA. I've done it once, but I've done
it. It's fun. It's fun, and dry age is better. It's just better, and when you have a great steak, let's make it great, right?
Yeah, I agree with you.
So I want to be blown away.
Ager and see.
What are you gonna do? You're gonna look up steak ager?
Yeah.
The refrigerator's like $700, I think, or something like that.
Oh, it's more than that. Sorry.
I was gonna say I don't think it's 700. I think it's a lot more than that.
Steve, don't sell me short, buddy.
Yeah.
All right,
still.
$500,000. No, but no.
I
think I looked at. I did look it up. I don't remember what it was. But what is it? 1,400? 1,000?
Depending on which model. So we do commercial units. We do big guys, cabinet built-ins, whatever a customer needs. We just sit down and talk about. And then all of our units, you can switch between charcuterie. So say you want to make a Lanzino, a Lomo Amachato, some salumi. That's awesome. You move from project to project, and that's a great space to be in because we'll make our own charcuterie at home. And the great thing about charcuterie, a lot of people don't realize, you buy it in a supermarket. And God bless mass manufacturing. I love it. When you make your own Lanzino or salami, you realize how little goes in it and how delicious it is relative to the market. And, you have a list that long and fine print of stuff that goes into mass production. I got a list that's one line. Right. I'd rather have my stuff. That's just my way. And I started, the Wayback Machine, I make prosciutto, and I started there. Before that, my dad and my uncle making sausage. So I go way back.
Wow.
Family problems.
Yeah, right. Those aren't bad problems.
The official Steak Ager owners group.
Yeah, well, that's us.
Yes.
Well, maybe one day we'll be in there, Ryan.
Yeah. I guess I'd have to get to that point where I'd be wanting to do it all the time, right? Maybe after we try it, I might just say, "Hey,
You might
babe,
do it.
Well,
Well,
here's
maybe-
the deal. So let me run through the math on that. So if you put down a subprimal, you dry age it perfectly, you vacuum seal it, put it in your freezer. It's good for years. There's no water in it.
Oh,
So the availability of perfection is all the time. So it's actually cost savings when you dig into bargains post holidays. Pick up a subprimal after Christmas, right? Instead of 20 bucks, 15, 16, 14 bucks a pound, it's $6.99 a pound. Grab that sucker. Last day on sale, great. Guess what one of the sweet spots is for some of the best steakhouses? They'll wet age another 30 days, then they'll dry age 40 to 60 to get a crazy great flavor profile. So when you realize there's flexibility, you can grab bargains, you can wet age it a little more. You can take the wet age, throw it in a freezer. The beef doesn't care. The beast does not care. And you can pull that out, put it in your steak ager, and go out 40 days, then slab it up, vacuum seal it, and refreeze it. So it's actually, when you start to look at the
Yeah, when you start
mechanics of
looking at
enjoying a great steak, it works.
yeah. I mean, if it was really good, Ryan, you'd probably do it more often. But like he said, if you can go buy the thing and get 10 steaks out of it, and then you can vacuum freeze it, and then it's in there. I mean, even if you had 2 steaks, every other month or something like that, I mean, you're still paying for yourself.
So I just looked at the Steak Ager Pro 40.
Yes. And your answer?
That's $1,300.
Oh, that's chump change. For good food, it's worth it.
It's totally worth it.
Yeah.
Just convincing my wife is the fun part.
Well, so
No,
That's why
don't
we
even
have
stop. I'm
multiple
going to stop you
projects.
right there. She is a steak out of the package, flip, eat. No seasoning, no nothing.
No ketchup. I think Trisha does
yes.
ketchup too
Ketchup.
sometimes. Yeah.
So,
well,
convincing her on that one would be a whole nother story.
Yeah.
But maybe I'll have her try some of the steak after Scott sends it to us, and we'll go from there.
we're gonna get you some steaks. I'm 30 days away from getting you steak. I just put down a big subprimal. I'll
That's
take it
right.
to 35-40. So I'll send some up.
But you know what, Ryan? You know what is not 30 days away?
King cake.
Yes, the king cake. The king cakes from Sucre du Lac. Woo! In Mississippi, king cake.
That's perfect.
I knew that was coming.
This is probably maybe like a half hour away.
Oh, what's up,
Maybe.
brother?
I don't think I'll do it today. Stone Cold Griller Scott Perkins. Scott, nice to see you. He's got a chili cook-off coming up, or he just was in a chili cook-off, Scott.
Nice.
He's coming up. But anyway, yeah.
That
King
was-
cake is right around the corner. So.
I know it is.
All right, Scott, we kept you over a little bit. That's okay, but that means the conversation was a good conversation. So it was good to see you again.
Pleasure to see you both. Pleasure to meet you, Ryan.
Yes, you as well. I'm very appreciative. Thank you again for your sponsorship. So, guys,
Yep.
Spitfire Grills Steak Ager, go check them out. And thank you for the steaks once we get them. In advance. I'm definitely looking forward to trying that out. And
I might have to come up there and cook them.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey,
You're always welcome.
yes.
Well,
You
we'll go
do
to
this.
Ryan's house because I don't have anything to cook it on. But right now, but anyway.
Well, I'll have to bring something to cook it on.
Oh, you could bring one of those. You could bring one of those beta testers up there and the gas one, and I'll test it out for you. I'll do videos.
Careful what you wish for. I do a house service.
Scott said,
Yeah.
I need that invite. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm down. Whenever you want to come out, let me know.
Very.
I'm set up and ready to go.
So anyway,
So
but yeah, thanks for coming on. And yes, thank you for the sponsorship. Those of you that are into aging steak, check out Steak Ager. They got great products, and I can personally attest to the fact that the Spitfire grill is an absolutely amazing thing. When the propane model is actually, I guess it's not. The propane's not out yet, right? Just
No, it's not out. It's coming.
He's still perfecting the
Boone,
propane
North
one.
Carolina. That's the challenge. We got to build it here.
Right. No, that is I get that.
Yeah.
And then, but as we were explaining earlier, and we talked about it in the green room, for someone like myself that's in an apartment, if that propane unit comes out, I mean, you have every single thing that you could possibly, every cooking genre in one small little footprint. And I'm not talking, it's about 18, 19 inches across. So it's not
We cut vertical.
And it's not that tall, and it would fit perfect on a patio. So it's great for all those that have apartments or condos or small balconies or have that significant other that says they don't want any more crap on their deck or patio. This would be perfect because you could get everything all in one small footprint.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
And you could set it on top of any of the other apparatuses you have. So therefore, you're not adding anything else to the footprint of the deck. Ryan, you could stack it on. I'd set it on top of your Blackstone, and then you can say, "I didn't get a new grill; it's fitting on my Blackstone."
Finally put that Blackstone to work. Oh, I'm just kidding. Oh,
oh, you can finally make something good on that sucker. Anyway,
Wow.
I'm so kidding. I'm so kidding.
All right, check out the umami bags.
yeah, check out umami bag.
Oh, haircut.
Here we go. All right, Scott. Good to see you
Scott,
again.
great to see you.
Always.
Thanks for coming on the show. We appreciate
Thanks
it.
for having me. Cheers.
Yep.
See
Take
ya.
care. Wow.
So that was Scott. That was one of our sponsors, Spitfire Grills and Steak Ager. I also want to give a shout out. I know we did I was so excited about the king cakes that I didn't really get into the sponsors like full exciting because I was into the king cake,
I know.
which I'm still into the king cakes. But we have obviously the OG Bandits sauces, rubs. You can look at them for wherever you buy your local sauces and barbecue supplies like Wanamaker's. We have the rubs. We don't have the sauces. Or you can check some of your online places like Barbecue Pro Shop or barbecuesuperstore.com. And then what do we got? What is it? Marble Ridge Farms. I was on there a little bit earlier looking at stuff. You can get it looks like almost any type of cut of meat, and it looks like they'll ship it right to you. So and they got great meat. So check them out on their website. And Wood Food Systems, they are a distributor of Southern Pride smokers. And they also do roasters, roasters or something.
Original
But
chicken roaster.
right. So, and who doesn't love roasted chicken? Jesus, I mean, that's almost like the food from heaven. And then, but they also do the Southern Pride smokers, probably on the bigger end. It wouldn't be like somebody like Ryan who would go and order a Southern Pride for their backyard to grill on weekly. But they are. I was at his warehouse. Looking at they are gorgeous machines. So if you have a restaurant or looking for high volume cooking, go to woodfoodsystems.com and check out their stuff and give them a call and let them know that Thursday Night Barbecue Chat sent you.
Yeah.
So
Good
that's
stuff.
it, Ryan. Did you see those king cakes?
What king? Somebody said something about king cakes?
King cakes. Yes, I got it. I did right over here. Did I show it to you?
Who we got? Do we have somebody for next week already?
And I just looked it up today and I forgot.
Wow.
Well, I was excited about getting home for the king cake, as we all know, already now for the 3 millionth time. Oh, you know what we have on next week? This might be good for everybody that is into competition cooking. I have Dirk and Jody from the Rib Cook-Off Association will be on here next week to kind of go over how their organization is similar to, well, I shouldn't say similar, but work is in that whole fold of KCBS and SCA and Rib Cook-Off Association and all those other associations and where they fit in. So that'll be interesting to talk to them because I'm kind of curious how the old Rib Cook-Off Association works. What does that got to do with? What's that got to do with?
Another cook-off association.
Oh, the Griddle Battle Cook-Off Association?
The Griddle Battle Association? No.
I didn't realize there was a Griddle Battle Cook-Off Association.
That's the Griddle Battle. It just doesn't say association after it. Anyways.
So who do we got? Yeah, so we got we got them on the 6th, and then we will be going the week of the 13th. That is SCA Worlds weekend. We will have our good friend Ryan. I don't know if you were on the last time Chris Lytle was on. I think that might have been either Michelle or
I think
myself.
I missed that one.
But Chris Lytle will be on. He's going to be on live from the SCA Worlds. So those are the next 2 weeks coming up. So that'll be pretty exciting. It's always exciting to see people in championship mode. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So
Good stuff.
yeah,
All right,
good
guys.
stuff.
We appreciate you hanging out with us. It's been an hour and 25 minutes of your day, and your time is precious. Sorry, I'm not Sean, but it sounded good. But we appreciate you hanging out. So check us out, Barbecue Blackstone and Beer. It's all about the barbecue. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. And if you want to rewatch or listen, if you've missed a show, go check out our re-airs of the podcast on Spotify. I almost said StreamYard. On Spotify. So, all right, guys. We'll see you next week. Take care.
See you next week, everybody. As always, please check out our sponsors of the show. We are greatly appreciative that these people all decided that they wanted to be sponsors of the show. So please go out and support them. As always, be kind and courteous to everybody. Everybody has different understandings. Everybody has different beliefs. And we just need to be a little bit more tolerant to how everybody is. And hey, some things we just don't even need to talk about. And then after all, let's just enjoy barbecue and have a good time. I do want to give a special shout out. I know, Ryan, we forgot to do housekeeping in the beginning of the day. We will have March 15th. We will be going to Beach Avenue Barbecue in Brookfield. Please, if you're able to make it, I really would love, for my good friend Juan Silva, I would really love to pack that place. As I put in my post on Facebook, I would love to pull up there at 5 minutes to 11 and have a line down the block of people waiting to get in. It would be very much, Juan is putting up the good fight. God bless him in prayers. He is going to be there. And from what I am told, he's going to have corned beef.
Oh.
Actually, he was asking me if I was, because I said, are you going to have corned beef? I won't be upset if you don't have it. And he's like, well, you'll be upset or won't be upset? I said, I really like corned beef. He says, well, good, because we're cooking like 1,200 pounds of it. So, so if you like corned beef, let's get out there. Let's support Beach Avenue Barbecue. Let's support Juan Silva. And then I'm going to get with, there is another event coming up for him in that area at somewhere in there. I popped up that I was interested. So we'll get more info on that to go. It's like a beer tasting. You might be interested in that, Ryan. It's like a beer tasting type of thing. Yeah. So with that, everybody, again, see you next week. And as always, shop local, shop small, like Sucre Du Lac Bakery in Mississippi, Ocean Springs. I mean, you don't have to drive all the way there, but you can call them up and say, hey, I'd like some.
Well, you heard it here at the Thursday night barbecue.
Yeah, so you heard it on Thursday Night Barbecue Chat. It probably won't get you anything, but it'll make you sound like you're important. But anyway, so everybody have a great night. See you next week. And bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Ryan doesn't wave as happy as he used to. He's just all burned out.
Thank you so much, guys. You've been absolutely amazing. Thank you. You guys are the best. Thank you so much.